That's ISO?
Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the greenhouse. Ball it up, I'm with the gang, we taking shots off the rebound.
Welcome to the Keeping It Real podcast with me, Mateo Lucio, and my mother, Julia Lucio.
Hey.
And this is the first episode, obviously. In this podcast, we are going to talk about movies. We love movies. We see them in theaters pretty much every week. I saw 55 2023 movies. I can't speak for how many you've seen, but probably a similar
I think it was
amount.
like last time I checked, or because I was going through the list and I added my movies for 2023, and I was at 46 on Letterboxd. But I think there's more than that. I haven't gone through it all. But I was surprised to see that there was like some 34,000 movies made this year.
Yeah, Letterboxd.
Year.
It like obviously a lot of these aren't theatrically released, but any movie that comes out, Letterboxd will have on there. So,
like that's humanly impossible to watch.
I think you've probably seen about as many as me because there were just a few you didn't see in theaters with me, but then I looked on your list and there are a lot that I have not seen from there. So it probably evens out.
Yeah. So your column is coming out next week and you have your top 10 of 2023.
Top 10 of this year, which has been a great year for movies.
Yeah, it was insane. Like there's a good reason we went almost every week this year because it just kept coming.
I mean, we were into movies last year. I saw 30 that year. There just weren't as many big hitters so often. The front, not to spoil my list too much, the front runner for Best Picture is not in the top 3 of my list.
Oh, no?
It is not.
What's the front runner?
Oppenheimer.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, actually it's in my top 3.
It is. Okay.
Yeah. But we'll touch on that because we're going to go down your list and my list and see the similarities. And I know I have a few movies on my list that are not on yours. So.
And I know I have a few on mine that are definitely not on yours.
Yeah. And there's there was like a lot of talks about the Oscars and the potential, because I think the short list came out December 22nd or something like that. The short list for the nominees, and it'll be a heck of an Oscar season.
It absolutely will. The reason I say Oppenheimer is the front runner is because Christopher Nolan is a director who I feel like has been in the elite director conversations for so long, but hasn't necessarily gotten his flowers. Oppenheimer is a movie that everyone can agree on was amazing and is worthy. It has the marketing. It hit $1 billion at the box office, or it's very near. It has everything going for it.
It does. Like the cinematography was awesome. The score is great. Like it's a strong contender for sure. But there were some great movies that I thought were amazing that have been left behind. No pun intended.
But, I know exactly what you're talking about.
But yeah, there's a lot of great contenders that
I think we're going to see that on your top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. It's in my top 10. But you know, the Oscars are the Oscars, and there's always like, you know, a snobbish kind of a component to the awards, and there's often great movies that are omitted, but it is what it is.
The horror genre entirely is usually omitted.
I mean, if you want to talk about, like, talk to me, it should be nominated. It was a fantastic new movie. But let's go ahead.
Before we get into it, I have a few things I want to touch on. So we should talk about some of the major movies we haven't seen this year that have been on a lot of people's top 10s and would maybe be on ours if we watch them. John Wick 4. I don't know if you've heard of Past Lives, but Past Lives has got a bunch of buzz from everyone. It came out a lot earlier in the year. what was the one that came out recently that a lot of people have been talking about?
The one that we want to go see this
Yeah, we're going to see it on Sunday.
weekend.
So maybe it's going to be a late addition to those lists.
Yeah, it might be because, well, of course, your list it's gone to print
my
already.
list,
That is not going to change.
No.
But hold on, let me just find the name. I'm drawing a blank for some reason. Where's Scotiabank? Okay. It is called Poor Things.
Poor Things. That is getting a lot of buzz right now too, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it too. I think she will be nominated for Best Actress. The main actress, Emma Stone, is the main actress, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna have a nomination on that one.
And last, before we get into the top 10, I know you don't have this in front of you. Is there any movie that you want to give an honorable mention to that sticks out before we start? Because I have a few that I want to talk about.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the honorable mentions, and I also want to talk about like the major disappointments of this year, because there were quite a few that, oh my gosh, I had such great anticipation, and it was such a letdown for me. It was a total miss.
Okay, let's save major disappointments for after the top 10. Okay. Right now, any honorable mentions that stick out?
Saltburn.
Saltburn, I haven't even put it on my list yet, but I'm not mad at that. I think it would probably be in my top 20.
Yeah. I think it was a fantastic rendition of what psychological thriller should be. Like it's really.
Yeah.
Are we giving out
bizarre?
Are we giving out like spoilers on this? Should we give a spoiler warning just in case?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Countdown. I'll add something. Skip to this part of the video if you don't want to hear about Saltburn.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. What the?
Yeah.
So.
Like, bizarre and twisted, and it's the epitome of what you think the bad guy is. Like, it's the plot twist of the century. Like, I mean, you know,
he's like, it reminds me of something the psychological thriller show You would do, but better, where you find out that he's been behind it all. He's planned it all out from the beginning. He killed the entire family. We already put the spoiler warning, so I can,
yeah,
I can say that, I guess.
You can. Yeah, no, it was very, very well done. I thought it was, and I've heard that it might get a few nominations as well. So I'm not sure, because like I'm not sure how it works, but you know, the short list is already out. I'm not sure if now they go to voting and nothing can be added, but I've heard that they might have nominations.
Okay, in my honorable mentions, I'll have a bunch of horror movies that didn't quite make the cut. 12 through 14 on my list are all horror movies. Saw X. This YouTuber, Sean Chandler, said a quote that I find resonant. He said, "If you told me that the 10th movie in the Saw franchise would come out of nowhere, revitalize the franchise, and be one of the best movies of the year, that's just shocking." I don't know where it came from. They switched the character. They made him kind of an anti-hero that you can root for. And it was a great movie.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I'm pretty sure that movie would be the top of the franchise for me.
Me too, honestly.
Yeah.
A little bit of competition from... I haven't seen a lot of them, but I think Saw 2 I really liked, but I Saw X would be my favorite. Number 13 on my list, Knock at the Cabin. This is a movie that was in my top 5 halfway through the year. But as it went on, I think something that's important for movies is it's sticking with you. And it's a great movie, but it just wasn't at the top of my head when I thought movies of 2023. That's why it slipped. It was a really good movie. Strong performances, strong twists.
See, I disagree with you there. It did not get off my list. It is on my top 10.
Okay. Well, we'll see it there. And then I don't know if there's anything else I want to shout out. Scream is number 14. I'm not happy with the people behind Scream right now, so I don't know if I want to shout it out. Two that are going to be on a lot of people's lists are Barbie and Killers of the Flower Moon. Barbie is my 11. Killers of the Flower Moon is my 15. So those are honorable mentions too, I guess.
And I think Killer is going to get
it's going to
get a bunch of nominations.
Award.
I know. The main actress is nominated for Best Actress.
Barbie is too,
or will be. Ryan Gosling is getting a.
He's
Best Supporting Actor.
He's in the supporting actor running with, I would say, Robert Downey Jr. in Oppenheimer as a two-way race.
Yeah, but I mean, if we're being real, you know.
What? Wait, what do you mean? No. Ryan Gosling might be my pick if we're being real.
Okay. No, I don't
That's
see
me
it.
being real.
Okay, he was good, but to me, no. That's just
okay. Well,
I don't know. Okay.
Are you ready to get into it?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to start?
Sorry. No, you go ahead.
Okay. At my number 10. This is hard. I'm making a game time decision here, switching movies.
Huh?
At my number 10, down from number 8 when I wrote the article. Now I just seem indecisive. Missing.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I can agree with that.
Missing is a thriller film where the central idea, the central medium to get it across is that it's all filmed on the devices of the people who are watching. It's taken from, it's just like their webcam on their iMac or their MacBook. And it's about this girl's missing mother, and she's going through her mother's emails, going through text messages, and contacting authorities, all that to find her mother. Important, Missing is a sequel, not a sequel per se where it follows the story, but it is related to, I think, 2018 movie Searching, which was also really good. And as I said after seeing Searching, I don't think I would love Missing as much if I saw Searching first.
Mm-hmm.
But because Missing was my introduction to this brilliant idea, this brilliant medium of portraying the story, it was up there for me. And that's why it's my top 10. Even though I moved it down, I have nothing bad to say about it right now. I'm not going to trash it. It was an amazing movie.
And you know, this kind of perspective, there's been quite a few movies done that way this year, like with the perspective of
what was that
either a YouTuber. Well, recently we saw that movie about like the girls who are holding a seance. It was super interesting. Like I like how they're integrating. No. But it's interesting how they're integrating our usage of, you know, social media platforms into movies now, and they're making it from that perspective there. That's a point of view that's starting to.
That's why Missing is in my top 10. I think it's done it better. It's more in touch with the reality of the internet than that movie we're talking about, than Unfriended, the whole Unfriended series.
And the other horror movies there, the guy that goes to that
hey, that one was really
that
good.
haunted house.
Deadstream was really good.
Oh, Deadstream. Yeah, it was really, really good. Yeah. So are you done with your number 10?
Yeah.
Okay. So my number 10 is a little movie that nobody knows about. I don't think was it even in theaters? Champions. I don't think it was in theaters. Sure. It's directed by Bobby Farrelly, and it is not. And it is Woody Harrelson, and he's leading this basketball team for Special Olympics. And it's just beautiful. It's heartwarming. It's such a cool story. To me, it was
a feel-good movie.
It is a totally feel-good movie. So I really, really enjoyed that one, and I'm really sad it didn't get talked about enough.
For anyone wondering, that is, I have my entire list here, 1 to 55. That is 33 on my list, which warrants a 2.5 star out of 5 rating. Out of 5. So
Wow,
like 5
that's low.
it's not bad. There's nothing like very bad about it. It just I don't see what you see in it, I guess. I don't know. It's cute. It's feel good.
Yeah.
The one thing I liked to see in this movie, I don't think I've ever seen Woody Harrelson have remotely a soft spot in any of the characters he's played in his long career. And he still plays kind of like at the beginning of this
What
movie.
are you talking about?
He's a douchebag.
When he plays Hemmage, he's totally got soft spots.
No, not, but like, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he does just play the same character in every role.
Yeah, maybe. But anyways, it was just a beautiful. I rated it for 4.5 stars. It's one of my favorite movies of the year.
Oh, now I'm curious. When I saw your list earlier of all the movies you've seen, there was another movie that was 4.5 stars, and now I'm curious to see if that missed your list or not. But I guess I'll see.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Number 9. My number 9 stayed the same, which means my previous number 10 shot up 2 spots.
Okay.
And my number 9 is a film from the legendary Wes Anderson, Asteroid City. One of the 2 most visually appealing movies of the year. I'll talk about the other one later on this list. Asteroid City, it's just like this surrealist, all of it is just crazy. Someone said this is the Wes Andersonification of Nope, which I can definitely see.
Which I also hated.
I forgot about that.
I hated Nope.
We're gonna have to have a talk about that at a later date. But I love Jason Schwartzman as the lead role. Scarlett Johansson was amazing too. Huge ensemble cast of celebrity actors, like in every Wes Anderson movie, pretty much. And I don't really know what else to say about it. Well, just a super abstract film that I absolutely loved.
So, as you know, attempted to watch it with you guys initially, and I left because I was bored out of my mind. And then, just in preparation for this show, I went ahead and I watched it, and I was able to bear with it until the end. And there are some aspects that I really like the visual appeal was beautiful. Like the cinematography is great. Like, I'll give you that much. But as far as the story, to me, it's just trying too hard to be original and different. And it's too much.
I feel like you could say that about every Wes Anderson movie. Maybe you just don't get it. Have you thought about that?
Maybe I don't get it, but not my top, not in my top 10 for sure. So my number 9 is another movie that has a very different story, but has some coherence to it, and that is The Creator. And you haven't seen it.
A movie that I have not seen, which I am regretful about because I've heard it's very good.
Yes and no. You know what? Like, the critics were really, really divided. And even if you look on Letterboxd and you look at the reviews, like it's kind of like me with Asteroid City. It's kind of like, what the freak was that? Like, there's no point to this movie. It's like a lot of people didn't like it at all. The director is Gareth Edwards, and to me, it was just I don't know. It was beautiful. The visuals were amazing. The acting, like the little kid that plays one of the main roles there, is like phenomenal. It was just beautiful.
I can't add anything to any of this.
Yep. Like the made up world, the futuristic world that they created is just like it's kind of like a Japanese feel to it, and it's just beautiful.
Okay.
I loved it. Yeah,
You would recommend I watch it?
absolutely. Like
Okay.
I've been saying, you have to watch a creator. I got out of there and I'm like instantly knew that it was going to be in my top 10.
Okay. My number 8, a movie that was my number 10 on the list that I wrote just a few days ago.
Mhm.
A movie that I almost didn't see within this year because it came out very late, which will have problems in its award campaign, as I'll talk about. Now at number 8, The Iron Claw, starring Zac Efron, about the Von Erich wrestling family, an absolutely tragic family. Tragic to the point where, spoilers in 3, 2, 1. I'm spoiling real life here. All of the members, all of the brothers in this family die except for one. And as I was watching it, I think this is maybe the only 2023 movie to make me cry. Oh, no, it's not. There's another one that I'll talk about later. Just a tragic, it felt like a gut punch halfway through the movie. When they show the death of the first brother, complete tone shift. And it just feels like a gut punch for the rest of the movie as we see tragic thing after tragic thing happen to this family. Amazing performances from Zac Efron, Jeremy Allen White, and the two other brothers. Just a phenomenal movie that I haven't given a number grade to, because how am I going to say, I don't feel right saying, oh, this family's trauma is a 9 out of 10. I'm going to respect the movie, but I don't like giving it a numerical grade. Just feels wrong. And as I was saying before, Zac Efron deserves a nomination for best lead actor. I don't know if he's going to get it because the Oscars are so campaign heavy and this movie was released so late. I hope he gets it, but I'm not sure.
Well, it was released after the shortlist came out, so it's kind of like right there and then it's kind of problematic. But I totally agree with you. This was a surprise for me. First of all, I didn't even want to go see it because, you know, wrestling is not my bag.
Yeah.
I don't really like it. But as being the mom of 5 and like 4 boys and 1 trans, that is part of our lives. Like you guys were always into wrestling.
Super into wrestling, yeah.
Yeah. And so, you know, Josh and you mentioned if you wanted to go, and I'm just like, okay, I'll tag along. And so it was a complete surprise because I was expecting,
but it was a surprise
like
for
a Rocky
me too.
type. Yeah. I was expecting like a Rocky type thing, you know.
I don't know what.
And it was like completely different. Like it, but yeah, you're right. It was as a mom of 5, and as like putting myself in the shoes of this poor woman who lost like 4 of her kids. Like it's insane. It's incredibly touching. Just a beautiful movie. And like you said, the performances are amazing.
You can attest to the fact that I was bawling my eyes out after the last line, which I'm not going to spoil that line.
Yeah.
But go see the movie if you haven't.
Absolutely. And in theaters. Go see the movie in theaters. It's absolutely worth it.
Did it miss your list?
It did not miss my list. However, it's not my number 8 we're at, right?
Which is
The Hunger Games.
Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this installment of Hunger Games. It kind of triggered a revisiting the other ones. Like after we watched it, like I wanted to watch all the other ones, and it just does a phenomenal job at explaining where Snow is coming from, and like how he became who he became. Like you get a new understanding of his persona
without like I guess idolizing the character. I feel like anyone with some media literacy will understand that he is ultimately still the bad guy of this film, even if he's the protagonist.
Yeah, absolutely. You were talking before about you know, a villain that you kind of learn to Route 4. This is the same kind of thing, but you can see the snap. You can see the definite moment when snow became
And
snow.
this movie is so good at showing that snap.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
from my perspective, another thing I loved about it, as a lifelong Hunger Games fan, I read the books when I was like 10, probably for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Just being able to get to see more physicality, more physical set design of the Hunger Games universe, I guess. Seeing what Panem looked like at the time of the 10th Hunger Games, seeing what the 10th Hunger Games looked like. We got a map of Panem. As a Hunger Games fan, this was all just such a treat for me to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And it was the costume design is awesome. Like it lives to what you expect from a Hunger Games movie.
The performances too.
Yeah.
Jason Schwartzman as Lucky Flickerman was one of my favorite, more minor performances of the year. I forgot, is it Viola Davis who plays the doctor?
Mm-hmm.
She does an amazing job. Absolutely sinister villain. Set design too. Costume design, I guess, does an amazing job with her character too.
Yeah. And that's what we love about Hunger Games, right? Like the over the top costumes and the it's so it lives up to
and you
to
can see franchise. I guess you could see like the Capitol kind of developing their over the top fashion, where not everyone has it at that point, but you can see interesting characters like her already.
And it's a great commentary on social statuses, right? Like it's very good.
One thing I liked about it that we didn't even talk about, it shows like maybe it's making commentary on the real world, where we've come so far. We think we're in a relatively okay state in terms of social order now, I guess, but look at how much better the districts are treated in the 75th Hunger Games compared to the 10th. They brought the contestants to the zoo in the 10s. By the time of the 75th, so much progress has been made, but it's still so terrible.
But it's not just progress. It's money. It's advertising. It's sponsorships. It reminds me of what athletes are, kind of like there's so much money thrown their ways now. They're giving them all this food, all this luxury so they can die, for the show. But yeah, I mean, it's a far cry from what it was, but it just shows that, marketing and pushing and sponsorships and, it's a great movie. It says a lot about society without saying anything about society,
So now's a good time to say that was my number 7. So I don't have to add anything more about that. We've got that discussion out of the way.
Well, that's funny because my number 7 is Iron Claw.
Okay. Well, I guess we can go straight to number 6 now. What is your number 6?
My number 6 is Knock at the Cabin.
Knock at the Cabin.
Mm-hmm.
What did you like enough about this movie to put it at number 6?
So I'm a sucker for dystopian movies, kind of.
Yeah.
And
as you can see with your number 8 or number 8.
Yeah.
Which we just talked at lengths about.
I just love the premise, love the way it makes you question the reality. Like you're questioning the entire movie, and I'm going to do a spoiler, 3, 2, 1. You're questioning if they're just freaking like religious nuts or if this is really happening until the very end. Like you don't really know if it's real or not until the very end,
where you find out that it is really happening.
Yeah. So I don't know. I thought it really shows the conflicting decision that the actors have to make, like the characters have to make and the sacrifice of self versus all, you know, like I think it did such a good job at showing the dilemma of people on what they would do if it was for the greater good, or, you know, if the self would prevail.
One thing I want to ask you about that I was thinking about after this movie released more and more with time, in an age where disinformation is just getting worse and worse, where does a movie fit in that seems like it's making the case that, oh, maybe the nut jobs are right? Do you think that sentiment is there, or do you think this is just for pure entertainment?
I haven't thought of that, honestly. I didn't see it that way. And then again, you know, we know what we know and we know what we think we know, but, you know, we don't know if, like, I don't think I have the ultimate truth on everything. I think I'm on the right side of history, but am I? Like, I see what you're saying, but yeah, it could be making a case for that. But
still a really solid movie. I'm not mad at it being in your top 10, even if it isn't mine, because it was for a while. Until, as we'll probably talk about later, there was a crazy stretch towards the end of the year of a bunch of amazing movies. But we're on number 6.
Yep. That's all I got to say about it.
Number 6. And now I'll ask you, this was your 4.5-star movie I saw that I don't know if it's in your top 10. My number 6 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Okay. So, well, I'll let you talk about it, and then I'll tell you my reasons why it's not there.
The MCU, man. A lot of chatter with the MCU. People didn't like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It's in my top 20. I liked it. Nobody liked the Marvels. Big flop. We haven't even gone to see it. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness wasn't loved. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, people liked it. Didn't get the same buzz as the first one. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has been universally loved. It might be my favorite MCU movie, and that's going against movies like Spider-Man No Way Home and Avengers Endgame. It was just amazing. Amazing direction from James Gunn. Amazing performance from Bradley Cooper as a CGI raccoon, I guess. But this CGI raccoon was one of the most emotional characters we've seen in all of cinema. Such a loaded backstory. And they direct it so well. The villain, I don't remember the name of the guy who plays, I think the High Evolutionary is his name, but he does such a good job as an over-the-top villain. Some people didn't like that, but the over-the-top, it suited the character so much. It suited the narrative of the movie so much. And this was just a perfect send-off for this stage of the Guardians of the Galaxy. Why was it not in your top 10?
I agree with you. And now that I hear you talk about it and refresh my memory about it, maybe it should have been on my top 10 list. It's not because I didn't love it. I absolutely loved the movie. It was super entertaining, and the story was just like phenomenal. But it's a matter of I like the other ones more. It's as simple as that. I loved it, and I love the superhero and the MCU and all that. But to me, to be on my top 10, I like this more serious movies than.
This movie was so serious.
But it was, but it wasn't, you know?
But it was, though. This was one of the more serious MCU movies, I feel like.
Yeah, but it was one of the most. It was one of the more serious movies of the MCU, not of the more serious movies of 2023.
Okay, well, I'm going to ask you right now then. Is Across the Spider-Verse in your top 10?
No, sir.
Wow. I can't believe that.
First of all, I'm pissed off about the ending. You know that. I got out of the freaking theater. I was pissed off.
It was too good. I was just hyped about it. I'll talk about this movie more later. But I guess this is the difference between a younger cinema fan and a little bit of an older cinema fan.
Shut
Animation. Oh, it's her birthday, by the way. Everyone wish her. I guess when this comes out, it'll be belated birthday. But happy birthday. Is it just animation superhero movies cater more to the younger?
There might be a little bit of that for sure. Like, I think my generation probably tends to see animated and like films based on comic books more like a kids thing than serious thing. Although, like you said, the message in Guardians was like absolutely serious, you know. But I don't know. It might be a prejudice.
Should we go into our top 5?
Sure.
My number 5 is Oppenheimer.
Okay, I respect that.
Why?
Why not higher?
Kind of the case with why Guardians missed your top 10, I think. The top 4 to me are just elite. Oppenheimer's a near perfect film on a technical level. I just didn't personally connect with it as much as I did with this top 4, which I entirely loved. I don't know what to say about Oppenheimer at this point. I feel like everything's been said about it. Cillian Murphy, amazing job in the lead role. Robert Downey Jr., probably going to win Best Supporting Actor.
Better. Yeah.
The score and the ambiance, just amazing. The way it goes like entirely silent at certain points and then entirely loud, just amazing. Probably from a sound perspective, the best movie of the year.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Amazing performances all throughout. Big ensemble cast, kind of like Asteroid City, I guess. A lot of notable actors.
Yeah.
A little bit long. I think it did a better job engaging me as a 3+ hour movie than Killers of the Flower Moon did. Still, I think it could have been cut by 15 minutes without sacrificing too much of the narrative. But that's my view on Oppenheimer.
Wait, so if Oppenheimer is at that position for you, that means Killers is higher.
I gave it an honorable mention.
Oh, yes. Okay. So, so it's not even on your top 10. Sorry. Got confused there. All right.
Okay.
So do you want to hear mine?
Yes.
So
wait, you have nothing else to say about Oppenheimer?
Like you said, nothing needs to be said. Everything's been said.
Everything's been said. Yeah.
Barbie and Oppenheimer, like everything that could have been said has been said.
Yeah.
I agree. My number 5 is Leave the World Behind.
A movie that is, let me actually see the exact position on my list. 28, right below Cocaine Bear.
That is completely nuts. That is completely nuts to me. Cocaine Bear was not bad. Like, I mean,
you can talk about it in a second. It's just, I agree with the sentiment that I've seen a lot of people say, and it's like, cool movie, what is the point? And I guess this is how you felt
maybe
about
you just
Asteroid
don't
City.
understand it.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, again, dystopian movie, so it's kind of like my bag, right? I love those. And I just thought it did a great job at showing how the enemies that we think we have are not necessarily the enemies that we do have. How it would be so easily like the stability of our world could be so easily destroyed from the inside, not even from the outside. Like you could totally destabilize a country from within. I don't know. It hit home for me.
None of this is bad. I can't disagree with how you feel about a movie, but it just wasn't personally compelling to me. Now, some people said that it was boring and that's why it was bad. And I'm going to have to call that reasoning wrong.
Yeah.
Like
there was not enough action. And to me, it's the opposite. Like this movie did not need action. It needed quiet to let every detail, like the camera angles, like the way she goes into the house and the camera follows her and the camera angles just go around. It's like, to me, it drives the point across, like of the way they are lost. And anyways, it's just
I do
it really spoke to me.
Strong performance from the girl who played the
little girl. Yeah.
That was
I
a
can't
strong
remember what her
stand-up performance
name.
in my
Yeah.
name, in my opinion.
I think her name is Mayala Harold, if I'm seeing that properly. Yeah, she was pretty good. And and the wink at the end to you know, technology and how if the world was to die today, like if this kind of implosion would happen to the United States today, like literally anything that existed or that was built after the 20, let's say the 2000 or 2010, like everything is digital, you would lose all this shit, like, you know.
I saw people talking about with how it ended, which I can say this without it being a spoiler. They were with how it ended, they were saying this is Netflix arguing in favor of physical media.
Oh, but you know, there's something to be said about having a, like, you know, that's why I keep papers, like I have paper traces of everything, like it's just yeah. Anyways, it was a really good movie. And again, like, you know, end of the year again, you were saying about the string of movies that came out like in the last month. It was just this was
Crazy.
one of them. Yeah.
It knocked my movie that was holding number 1 for half a year to number 3.
Yeah.
With that, let's get to number 4. My number 4, my horror movie of the year by far, Talk to Me.
Bingo! Same position for me.
Amazing movie. Directed by Raka Raka, the brothers behind that, which is a YouTube channel. So YouTubers getting into direction. I love to see that. And just phenomenal direction, phenomenal performances, phenomenal take on horror, a unique thing. Just an amazing movie.
I can personally say that I have not had chills the way that Talk to Me has given me in years of horror movie. Like, and you know, I'm a fan, like, and I've been a fan since I was like 11. Chills like that is rare.
Wow. Just thinking about it, we exited the theater.
I got chills in my spine right now. Like, I'm just like, wow. Yeah, no, Talk to Me is so different. Because everything has been done, you know, like zombies have been done a million times, and this has been done, yes, but it's a new take on it.
Yeah. I want to say, like, now within this top 4, I felt this way a little bit with Iron Claw, but the top 4 are all movies where I came out of the theater in awe of the art that I just witnessed. I felt it a little bit with Iron Claw. These 4, I would say, are in a different league from my top 10. And I guess you have a different movie in the top 3 than I do, but we have 2 of the same top 3 movies, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, but I think we'll see. But yeah, I think they're in reversed order, I believe, but we'll see.
But on Talk to Me, what was the girl's name who played the lead?
I'm trying to find
Sophie Wilde.
Okay.
Amazing performance. She's been getting a little bit of mainstream success. She's the lead of a Netflix show, I think, which they described as like British Never Have I Ever.
Yeah.
It was like a British or ghetto Never Have I Ever, or something like that.
Yeah, I think I've seen some of the episodes with her in there. Yeah, Sophie Wilde. Yeah, that's. But just like bone chilling kind of movie.
I think it's my favorite 2023 horror movie, and it's not even close. You might have Knock at the Cabin.
Not the same kind of horror.
And I have Missing at 8. The gap between 8 and 4 in this case, humongous.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not even the same ballpark as any of the other horror movies that were made this year. Which it was a great year for movies, and there was a lot of movies made, but like for horror,
I would take last year.
I had a lot of disappointments this year.
I would take last year for horror.
Yeah.
Terrifier 2. I think last year's Scream. Did one come out last year?
Scream? Yeah, I think so.
Last year's Scream was on par with this one at least. Nope. Some reason you hate. I can't understand that. Some might not even describe it as a horror. It's in the horror. Yeah. It's in the broader horror genre, I would say. Smile, The Black Phone. I just found last year's horror more appealing.
Yeah, I agree.
But with that, do you want to get into the top 3?
Sure.
At my number 3, I think this is going to be the last movie that you don't have on your list that I have on my list. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Best animated movie of the year. Maybe the best animated movie of all time, in my opinion. The other most appealing movie of the year with Asteroid City. Somehow more visually appealing than its predecessor, Into the Spider-Verse, which was already a huge step in animation. And with all this, I'm talking about visually appealing. The story does not lag behind at all. A phenomenal story, makes me more excited than I ever could have been for this sequel to close itself out. More new added interesting characters like Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. We have a little bit of Ben Reilly, which my little brother loved to see. More world building in this universe and some plot twists that I don't even, can I get into? I feel like it's been a while since this movie came out. When it's revealed that, I guess, 3, 2, 1, Miles Morales in a different universe is the Prowler, me and my brothers lost our shit. And I'm so excited for the sequel to this amazing movie. And maybe, just maybe, it can top the first one and the second one and somehow be even better than what previously held the title of the best film ever, according to Letterboxd.
Which is?
The second one.
Okay.
The one I'm talking about right now.
It was rated the best movie ever?
I don't think it is anymore. I'll check right now. Oh. But after it came out, probably a little bit of recency bias there, but the rating stayed the same. Lists. Where is it? I'm just going to look up Letterboxd 250. Any thoughts about this movie?
It was good. However, like I said before, I was totally pissed off by the end. Like, I couldn't believe that they let us hanging like that. Like, to me, there's one thing you don't do is to aggravate your audience. And that was totally aggravating.
Yeah, it didn't aggravate me. I don't even know what else to say.
Yeah.
Okay, right now, Into the Spider-Verse is 39th and Across the Spider-Verse is 20th. But Across the Spider-Verse was first. And I think part of the reason Letterboxd recently, I say recently, but it was in the wake of Across the Spider-Verse releasing, changed how they compiled the numerical rating on a movie, how they're weighted, to be more in favor of foreign films.
Okay.
And now,
so what's number 1?
I'm curious. A Japanese movie, I think. Harakiri, which I have not watched. The world has never understood why the Japanese prefer death to dishonor. Seems like it could be another movie that about a similar topic to what we'll talk about soon.
Okay. So my number 3 we already covered is Oppenheimer. Is my number 3.
Anything else you want to talk about? This movie that's already had everything said about it?
Nope. Everything has been said.
Okay.
I mean, you know, everything has been said. Like, everything is beautiful. Like you said, it's a near perfect movie. You said yourself. So what's there to say?
Are you sure that you and I have 2 and 1 swapped?
I'm absolutely positive.
We
It
should just
has
talk,
to be. It has to be.
we should just talk about them one at a time and then reveal which one of us had each at 1 and
Okay.
2.
Sounds good.
Let's talk about Godzilla -1 first.
Okay.
Japanese film. This might have been the only foreign movie I've seen this. Well, the only foreign 2023 movie I've seen this year,
Uh-huh.
and it was a top 3 movie of the year. So amazing, so phenomenal, amazing direction, amazing acting, amazing commentary. Probably
Amazing
the best.
story.
Probably the best commentary of the year. I would say.
Yes.
The most
Yep.
powerful, most impactful commentary.
I like how somebody put it. I can't remember who it was, but they put it this way. They said there were 2 movies talking about the atomic
Yeah.
bomb this year, and the best one was not Oppenheimer.
I think that was there was a review on Letterboxd that said something like that.
Oh yeah,
And
it's super true. I couldn't agree more.
I don't remember who said this. Someone said like, this is an amazing movie about the psyche of Japan, and then there's Godzilla in it. That's the type of movie that this is, where Godzilla, this crazy mythical creature, just serves as a device to tell the story about Japan's complex history of survival guilt
and kamikazes and like the whole mentality about the army, and like it's just beautiful. It's just phenomenal. It's historically somewhat correct, except for Godzilla, of course. But it,
one of
it
my favorite
portrays
foreign movies ever.
Yeah. It was it I have nothing bad to say about the thing. It just was phenomenal.
One of 3 movies I gave a perfect score to, by the way. I guess
Yeah.
Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse I gave 5 out of 5. And I also gave The Holdovers 5 out of 5. The Holdovers was just peak art. I said this to you as we were leaving the theater. Some movies feel like entertainment. Some movies feel like art. The Holdovers just felt like art. Paul Giamatti and I forgot the other actor's name.
The kid?
Yeah.
I can't remember his name either, but I can find out.
I'm pulling it up here.
Okay.
Paul Giamatti and Dominic Sessa as Hunnam and Angus.
Yeah.
Just do an amazing job in this found family Christmas movie, which doesn't sound like something I would love as much as I did. But these 2, I would say more than the direction, these 2 and Divine Joy Randolph's performance as
who's nominated for Best Supporting
Really?
Actress. Yeah.
completely
She's in
deserved.
the
Completely deserved.
absolutely. Absolutely.
These
Instant
actors,
classic.
instant classic. Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
People who know cinema are going to go back to this on Christmas. Absolutely. These actors, more than the direction, I would say, are why this is one of my favorite movies of the year. They had such a selling performance. You see the actors play it so well, of these characters coming together, realizing they're lonely for Christmas, and coming together and uniting, finding joy in one another. So vital to the meaning of Christmas that even these people who don't have any blood family, anyone to go to, just
And
find each other.
are so different
So different.
and unlikely to find their way to one another in any other circumstance than what they are in. Like it's just a great movie. It's a coming of age kind of movie. Paul Giamatti, I can't speak enough. Like, I love the guy already. I watched Billions, and he's one of my favorite freaking villains of all times. Yeah, and the way they made his eye, like, I just, I kept looking at him like, he doesn't have a lazy eye. How the hell did they accomplish this?
One moment that stuck out to me is when they're leaving the party, and Mary says to Hunnam, she's like, that is a boy whose parents abandoned him for Christmas. You don't I don't remember what he specifically said, but she's like, you don't do that. That felt like a
Mhm.
turning point for his character. They end up, I guess, spoiler. This feels like a weird movie to have spoilers for. 3, 2, 1. They end up going to Boston, and you get more into the character of Hunnam, where he sees an old friend, I guess, probably a bully who he went to college with, and he lies about himself because
Yep.
he's just ashamed with his life. And like, I feel like this hurts Angus to see. He gets a greater understanding of the character, the person, his teacher at this point, and all these flawed people who are not all good, but are complex individuals who need someone to be there for Christmas, find each other. And it was just a beautiful movie.
It was. I agree. It just, like I said, coming of age movie. Just like unlikely people unlikely to find one another, that just end up in a situation where they have to put up with each other, and they actually grow to like each other. And it's just beautiful to see happening on screen. It was a great movie. Like I said, instant classic. It's gonna be one that I'm gonna want to watch every Christmas now.
And with that said, given how much I just went on a rant about it, maybe people will be able to tell that my number 1 is The Holdovers. My number 2 is Godzilla -1. And you're the opposite, right?
Right. My number 1 is Godzilla -1, the surprise of the year for me. And then The Holdovers is my number 2.
These are 2 amazing films. I could have either or Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse as my number 1, honestly. There's a reason I gave them all 5 out of 5.
Yeah. And like you said, if you follow Mateo on Letterboxd, you can see that list probably change in the near future.
I might go 1 through 55 and just fix anything that I feel differently about now. One thing I regret this year is not seeing enough animated movies. I saw maybe 4 or 5. There are some major ones I didn't see, like The Boy and the Heron or Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
That also came out like very recently. It's still in theaters. You can see it. Yeah, like I for those who are watching or listening, I got the kids for Christmas. One of my presents to them was a Cineplex Cineclub.
Thinking about it.
Yeah, Cineclub membership, so they have all one free movie that they can go see monthly, and it really is like I was saying at the beginning, we go see a movie a week pretty much, so it's also a gift for myself. Figured I'd save money doing it that way. But yeah, you can go see it for sure. It's still out. But there were others, like I haven't seen, you've seen them, but I haven't seen like TMNT came out. Oh, you haven't seen it? And Mario? You've seen Mario?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't see Mario. Like I'm not a big fan of the animated.
And I cannot be further from that.
Yeah.
I binged every Pixar movie this past summer.
Yeah, you did a list. If you want to follow Mateo as well on The Seeker, he is at theseeker.ca. You can click on his name and you'll see all the past movie reviews. And that one, the Pixar movie review, was one that did very well online. You got a lot of traction on that one.
I think I wrote that before I rewatched them, though. And my list would be completely different now. That's how I know that. I went and looked at it, and the list would be completely changed.
Oh, maybe you do a revised list.
Now, before we end here, let's talk about some of the disappointing movies of the year.
Okay.
And we'll
start with the first.
My Letterboxd list.
We'll start with the first disappointment of the year, which was released on my birthday last year, Megan.
And I don't agree that it was a disappointment. I probably agree with you in about the range we would put it. It's just that I didn't have high expectations going into it. So it wasn't a disappointment for me.
So all throughout 2022, we were going to see horror movies all the time at the Messina Movieplex. We're always going there. And they started advertising Megan probably, I want to say, in August. And I built a lot of anticipation
You were
for
really
that
excited.
movie. I was excited. I thought the topic would have been like I think it was such a missed opportunity. It could have been a fantastic movie. And it was just meh. It was not bad, but it was meh, you know?
I don't know if I have a disappointment. We can talk about the Exorcist Believer now. Again, I didn't have a lot of excitement for it. But actually, all that said, I still do think it was worse than I thought, which is pretty crazy.
So you got to understand where I'm coming from. I grew up with The Exorcist.
All-time favorite horror movie?
All-time favorite horror movie. I was going to mention it when we were talking about Talk to Me, when I was saying that chills down your spine, like that happens very seldom. Well, Exorcist is one that did that for me. Like, I mean, that was one of the movies that marked me the most. But so yeah, it came with, like, when I heard about the reboot, it really, like, it came with a super high expectations. And that's what's dangerous when you do a franchise like that. And that's what Saw did fantastically and phenomenally, is to reboot with a number 10 and like knock it out of the park.
Revitalized out of nowhere.
Yeah. This did not knock it out of the park. If anything, it killed the franchise. Like, I don't even think I want to see anything coming out of Exorcist franchises anymore.
I have a disappointing one I just thought of. Because of who the lead actor is and what the movie is about, this could have been an Oscar-worthy movie. And the consensus is that it was pretty lame. Napoleon.
Agreed. 100% agreed. Bored to my, like, I fell asleep in the theater. I was so bored.
It was boring.
Yeah.
I gave it a 5 out of 10. Now, just remembering it, I feel like it might be even lower than that.
Yeah, it was
I don't know where it went wrong. I remember someone describing it just as like, okay, this thing happened, this thing happened, this thing happened. Never really getting into any detail about the character, who Napoleon was.
Yeah. I don't think the actor was right. Like, I don't think it was the right actor for the role.
I disagree. I think he could have done a good job with the right script.
Perhaps.
Joaquin Phoenix is an amazing actor.
He is, but I don't know. I don't see him as Napoleon at all.
Yeah. Anything else? Oh, I know another one you'll have.
Disappointments? I forget now. Tell me what I know. Oh my God.
This is a movie that, as me and you are diametrically opposed here. I'm an Insidious franchise hater. You're an Insidious franchise lover. I was pleasantly surprised by The Red Door, and you were disappointed.
After the last one, before that one, I can't even remember the name of it, but like, it set the stage for such a great follow-up that when I got The Red Door and saw it, it just, like, in my mind, it would have been completely different. The storyline would have been completely different.
Maybe it's just the fact that I don't think I saw the movie before.
You didn't see the one before that?
Directly before?
Yeah, I can't even remember what it was.
I don't even know how many are in the franchise.
There are so many. But, like, the one before that was one of my favorites of the series. The what, sorry?
The Last Key?
Yes. So that one was one of my favorites, like, if not the favorite of the franchise.
I saw 1 and 2. I saw 3 before. I don't think I did when you guys were all rewatching it. And then I didn't see The Last Key.
Okay.
But what was in The Red Door, I loved. Loved is a strong word. I found it very mid, which exceeded my expectations for Insidious movies.
Okay. But yeah, no, it was a letdown for me. The other one that really didn't do it for me, and that I thought I was getting out of the theater and thinking, you know, why did I spend my money, was The Blackening.
Mhm. I again, like a lot of these for me, I didn't go into with high expectations, and they were just mid. I probably liked it more than you did, but
I didn't have high expectations, but I was just like, I should have waited until it came out,
you were
you know?
disappointed that you wasted
Yeah.
2 hours on that.
Yeah. And my money.
Yeah.
Mostly my money.
I'm about to stir the pot here. I'm just going to say
Uh-oh.
this even if I don't even agree with it because I didn't have any expectations for it. Disappointing movie was Sound of Freedom. Wait, and hear me out. It's not,
Oh.
I didn't have any expectations for it. It's not even that I was excited for this movie because I was not at all excited to see it. It's just that the idea of a docudrama based on the real rescuing of kids who were trafficked could have been so much more than it was, which was just a really dull film that didn't have me feeling too strongly about this terrible tragedy. And that's what it comes down to. The Sound of Freedom, I'm not even going to get into the politics of it. Genuinely, from a movie reviewer standpoint, it was lame. It wasn't fun to watch. I was bored.
Yeah. I know that you got a lot of flack on your review that you did
I did.
on
And it's
both
like
on Letterboxd and on The Seeker as well, I think.
I was walking on eggshells at the time. I think I gave it a 6 out of 10. It's a 4 out of 10 on my thing now. It was just super boring.
Yeah. 4 out of, I see what yeah. But yeah, no, you couldn't please, like, if you were talking against it, you irritated the right. If you spoke for it, you irritated the left. Like, it was such a political.
You're either a QAnon conspiracy theorist or a woke person who supports child trafficking. They were saying that if you like this movie, if you don't like this movie, you support child trafficking. That is insane. This just was a dull movie to me.
Yeah.
Politics
but
aside.
It definitely was the most controversial movie of the year.
By far. Or
yeah.
Most controversial on the right-wing side, but think about like all the shit that was turned into culture war stuff on the left-wing side, I guess. Little Mermaid, Barbie.
Yeah. Barbie was great. Like, we haven't talked about Barbie, and we should probably give it a mention because, you know,
it's my number 11.
Okay. So talk about it. Like,
it was so fun. Another super visually appealing movie. Another strong performance. Greta Gerwig, amazing job directing. Margot Robbie. I don't know if you could cast a better Barbie.
No, I know.
Margot Robbie, honestly. Ryan Gosling, again, you disagree. I think he genuinely should be heavily considered for Best Supporting Actor. This huge ensemble celebrity cast, just a super fun and funny movie that kind of just serves as like introduction to liberal feminism, I guess.
And America Ferrera, her speech about what it is to be a woman is just like one of my favorite speeches of all time. Yeah, like she nails it so well. I mean, it's not her words, she didn't write it, but the writer,
respect our Queen America Ferrera.
She delivers it so well. And you know, you got to be this, you got to be that, but not too much. You can't do this, you can't do that. It's just it's fantastic. It really shows what it is to be a woman. Like, if you don't, like, you guys don't know what it is to be in our shoes, and having the standards so high of what you should look like and what you should do, and you have to be a good mother, you have to be a good, you know, it's just fantastic.
Something that stood out about it is that I feel like we've seen looks at like the patriarchy in a cartoonish way like this before, but the fact that this one flipped the roles and then did it super cartoonishly, super unique.
Yeah.
And it did what it was supposed to do. An amazing movie that if someone had in the top 10, I would not be mad about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. All right.
Okay, well,
I guess that wraps our first show.
I guess that wraps our first show, guys. We'll be releasing every Sunday if everything goes according to plan. Next week, what are we going to be talking about?
I'm not sure.
Movies we're excited for in 2024?
Oh, yeah, we could talk about that. Absolutely. Maybe we do a little review of the movie we're going to see on Sunday, which is a contender for Poor Things, which is a contender for Best Actress. So we'll tell people what we think about her performance, and then let's discuss, like you said, the anticipated movies of 2024.
And as you spoke about, you can find my reviews on pretty much everything on the Seeker website. And you can go to either of our Letterboxd. I'll leave that in the description of this video. I don't think you have it listed on a numbered list, but I have all my movies on a numbered list, 1 to 54 in terms of how much I like them. I haven't added Saltburn yet.
Yep. And Mateo has the great goal of watching 100 movies this year.
Up from 55. I guess in the period of this year, I saw 54 because Saltburn came in 2024.
Yeah.
So I saw 54 in the time span of 2023. And I'm going to try to get it up to 100 this year. And then you factor in that we're going to watch movies that aren't from this year, obviously. I'm going to watch a lot of movies this year. I'm excited for that. And you're going to be around for a lot of them. The thing is, though, I want to say, you're probably not going to see as many as me this year because you saw most of them with me in 2023. But for me to hit 100, I'm going to have to watch a lot alone.
Of course. Yeah. No, I like for sure. And you're going to have to prioritize movies over shows because, you know, like I spend a lot of time watching shows. Like right now, I'm just rewatching the whole Walking Dead series chronologically. So I started with Fear the Walking Dead 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going back to Walking Dead season 1 because that's where the chronological. Anyways, I'm doing it this way, but I would have to stop doing that if I
just gotta not get into like an 8-season sitcom. All right, well, that is the end of this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe,
and I want to mention that if you have any suggestions for movies that you want us to review, you should just send us a message, and we'll try to see what we can do.
Yep.
All right. So until next week, bye.
Bye-bye.
That's ISO. Rack it up. I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up. She got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up. I got some gas, some packs. I'm up in the greenhouse. Ball it up. I'm with the gang.